Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Mystic Magic. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the full moon in Scorpio, which is also a total lunar eclipse that's going to be happening May 16, 2022. I'm really excited to look into it. Today's video is going to be a reading for the collective, so there's no piles to choose from today. Also, I want to quickly say today's another hot day. I have my window open. There is some construction going on this morning, so if things start to get loud again, I will shut my window. But for now, I'm hoping that it will be quiet enough, long enough for me to get through this video because your girl is sweating right now. In a little bit, I'm going to be talking about what a lunar eclipse is, why it's significant, and then I'm also going to talk about some other important astrological events that are happening around the time of this eclipse. So if you're not interested in hearing about any of that, feel free to scroll down to the description box or the pinned comment and you can skip ahead to the collective reading. A couple of quick disclaimers before we start. Tarot is just a tool that reads the current energy, and energy is always changing. So know that you have free will and the power to create change. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. Don't try to force everything to fit for you in your life. There could simply just be messages here that are meant for other people watching that just aren't meant for you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about these astrological things that are happening, okay? Okay, so like I was saying, we have the full moon in Scorpio that's happening, which happens to be a total lunar eclipse, and it's also being called a super flower blood moon, which sounds really dramatic, and it kind of is, and I'm not that surprised because this is Scorpio we're talking about, right? Okay, so in the lunar cycle, full moons represent culmination, completion, reflection, and letting go. A total lunar eclipse happens when the Earth is positioned between the sun and the moon, and when the moon enters into the Earth's shadow, it turns a red hue, hence the name blood moon. It does look pretty spooky when you look at photos of it. Supermoons happen when the moon reaches the closest point to Earth on its orbit. So basically, having a supermoon total lunar eclipse is like a full moon on major steroids. The name flower moon comes from the Farmer's Almanac, and basically for the full moon in every month, they give it a specific name, and like that name never changes. So for the month of May, it's called the flower moon. Eclipses activate the lunar nodes, which are the north and south nodes, or the nodes of fate that you would find in your natal chart. So right now, the north node is in Taurus and the south node is in Scorpio, and they're going to stay there until July 2023. So anyone that have their nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, as well as any of the fixed signs, which would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, are going to be impacted the most during the eclipses this year, which there's 4 in total. So this total lunar eclipse will be the second that is happening this year. Okay, so what does all this mean? Eclipses can be chaotic and dramatic because they create really big shifts in energy and they speed up time as well. So expect quick, unexpected changes as some doors slam shut while others open seemingly out of nowhere. In a sense, eclipses speed up the inevitable. With lunar eclipses, expect endings and releasings, but because this is happening in the sign of Scorpio, endings and beginnings come hand in hand. What's certain is the palpable energy of transformation, transmutation, and regeneration. Okay, so other important astrological events happening in and around the time of this full moon. First off, as I'm sure you all know, we have a Mercury retrograde in Gemini that started on May 10th and that's lasting until June 3rd. So the fact that Mercury is retrograding in one of its ruling signs, to me, means it can either go one of two ways. Either Mercury really enjoys being in Gemini, so you may find it easier to focus and complete tasks and overall feel really energetic, or Mercury is a bit too comfortable in Gemini and you're going to feel really scattered, chaotic, anxious, and drained. But overall, be prepared for miscommunication, misinformation, scheduling conflicts, and struggles with technology. I will say though, on the plus side, retrogrades are a really great opportunity for reflection and reassessing your situation. Next, we have the Sun in Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius. And okay, this is a very stubborn and difficult transit on so many levels. Okay, so I'm just gonna bang off some facts. Okay, Taurus and Aquarius are both fixed signs, hence where the stubbornness comes from. Squares are really challenging and disharmonious aspects. We have Saturn, the planet of karma, limitations, time, and discipline, which classically rules Aquarius and enjoys being there. But Aquarius is in detriment in the Sun because Aquarius opposes Leo, which is ruled by the Sun. So here's what to expect: pessimism, low energy, restrictions, and procrastination. Your ego will be triggered if you struggle to accomplish tasks, and you may feel a lot of pressure, especially from authority figures who also may criticize you a lot. These struggles may be in regards to money, finances, wealth, possessions, and what is considered valuable to you, as well as political, social, and humanitarian unrest and inequalities. So I know that all sounds very daunting, and that's because it is. Okay, next we have Venus conjuncting Chiron in Aries in the 8th house on May 15th. So this is also a really big one, okay? Chiron is the wounded healer, and in this case is really bringing up wounds related to love, connections, pleasure, and beauty. Chiron in Aries can be pretty intense because Mars-driven Aries is a really fiery warrior that tends to be more blunt than diplomatic. Venus in Aries can be thrilling and exciting, but also impulsive with the tendency to overspend and just go overboard in general. And while conjunctions are harmonious aspects, overall, Venus doesn't like being in Aries. This transit is going to bring up difficult wounds related to heartbreak and giving and receiving love in our connections, such as overgiving and running away from receiving because of feelings of unworthiness and inadequacy. Chiron is always an opportunity for awareness, purging, healing, and growth. Like I mentioned, the 8th house, ruler of Scorpio and Pluto, is housing this transit. So this is a really intense, powerful, deep transmutation that's happening here. Advice: pay deep attention to your emotions and whatever comes up. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. Cry, journal, and self-care, and reach out to a professional if you need the extra support. Next, we have the planets of fire and water coming together with Mars conjuncting Neptune in Pisces in the 10th house. Neptune rules Pisces and loves to be here. You may take initiative overcoming any illusions or self-limiting beliefs, especially in regards to your career, financial wealth, status, and how you present yourself to the world. You could also be taking major strides towards pursuing your dream career, especially if it's a creative pursuit. Finally, we have Jupiter entering Aries on May 10th, and this transit is all about creating your own luck and opportunities. Jupiter boosts Aries' confidence and natural leadership qualities, so you'll be taking things into your own hands here. Creativity, initiation, and progress are all keywords. It's a great time to start or launch projects, and you also may feel more direct in your communication style and strongly identify with your opinions, so watch out for any heated arguments. So clearly there's a lot going on astrologically in the middle of May, and hopefully you find this information to be helpful in some way. Sometimes even just being aware of what's going on astrologically helps to make you feel a little bit less crazy, because sometimes you'll be feeling totally out of whack, and then I'll go and like check out to see what's happening astrologically, and then I'm like, oh, okay, like it's not just me, I'm not going crazy, there's actually something bigger going on here. So with all that being said, let's jump into the actual reading for today. So I have a bunch of oracle cards prepared. We're going to be taking a look at the main energy and overall theme for this full moon, and then we're going to be grabbing more detail with the tarot and ending the reading off with lots of advice and guidance and some final messages. So for now, I am going to put the tarot off to the side. We'll grab that in a little bit. And let's start off by taking a look at the overall energy and the main themes. So we have Cosmic Flower number 18. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. We have Confusion with the Crown Chakra. We have the Dragon with the Solar Plexus Chakra. We have Delight. And we have Here and Now, number 32. So what I'm really getting with these is that this full moon is bringing a lot of awareness when it comes to reconnecting with our own essence, reconnecting back to our soul. What's being highlighted really strongly is the message of reconnecting back to the self, reconnecting back to source. You know, we can so easily get caught up in the everyday, get so caught up in what needs to be done, getting caught up in the past, getting caught up in what may happen in the future. And the more that we do that, the more it creates separation between us and our true essence. And I think this full moon is really going to be highlighting that disconnect, and it's really going to be giving us an opportunity to come back home, so to speak. If you've been feeling confused about anything, like if you're needing to make a certain decision, or like you don't know what path to take or something like that, this could be why. There could just be a lot that's kind of going on around you that's clouding your vision, that you're feeling a bit caught up in. And a way to overcome that is to bring yourself back into the present, to really like cleanse your energy of everyone else, of everyone else's problems, everyone else's emotions, their projections, their expectations, and being able to just sit with your own energy and spend time being in your own energy will help bring so much clarity. There's a strong sense of empowerment coming through with the Dragon and the Solar Plexus Chakra, which I'm pretty sure that the Solar Plexus is ruled by Scorpio and Aries. But what I'm getting is like this full moon is an opportunity to really just like look yourself in the mirror, like look yourself straight into your soul and just reconnect back to the self. I feel like there's, as a collective, there's parts of us that we're not seeing clearly. There's parts of us that have been dormant. This could be like talents, gifts, it could be anything. And there's just things that we haven't been seeing clearly, something in our perspective that we just haven't been seeing clearly. And I think this full moon is really, really going to be highlighting it. Because our natural state is a really high vibrational state, okay? That's a feeling of inspiration, creativity, joy. We have delight here. And if you're not feeling that way, it's a way to know if you're unaligned from your true essence. Because when when you're aligned with yourself and when you're aligned with your soul and like your own authenticity, things just flow. Energy flows. Everything feels a lot more natural. It feels easy. There's no tension. There's no resistance. And so you can use your feelings as a guide as to whether or not you're on the path of alignment or not. And that seems like one of the biggest like questions these days is like, how do I bring more joy into my life? Like, how can I just be happy when there's so much that's, you know, so much negative stuff that's going on around me? And it's super valid. Like, it's hard not to be affected by everything. But one of the biggest ways to do that is to bring yourself back to the present, because all we really have is here and now, right? We can't get anything back from the past, and you know, the future doesn't exist yet. All we have is right now. And where we get to in the future is based on what we're doing now, right? Like, who you are now is a result of the actions that you've taken, and now you're living in those consequences. So whether this is like, you know, positive or negative consequences, but there's always a way to turn that around, and there's always a way to find clarity. And I think the other thing that's coming through with this confusion card is the need to find clarity, this like urge of needing the answers right away. And look, I totally get it, because I'm the same way. Like, when I don't know something, or when I'm confused about something, I like will try anything I can to like figure out what the answer is. And sometimes just doing the most is counterproductive. And you know, the question that's coming through is like, why do you feel the need to know answers right away? How can we learn to sit in confusion and, you know, just accept that that's a current reality, but that it's also a temporary one? You know, the fog always clears, clarity always comes, but it doesn't always necessarily come right away. So how can we be okay with feeling this temporary confusion? How can we find trust knowing that things will work out for us, that we're being led in the right direction, that we're being guided towards what's best for us? These are all things that are coming through with this full moon. And yeah, it's like, it's really intense. This is a full moon in Scorpio, so I wouldn't expect anything less. And so, okay, how do we connect back to source? How do we connect back to our own essence? The easiest way is asking yourself, what brings you joy? What lights you up? Because those are things that are naturally aligned with your soul. So the more that you do those things, the more that it shifts your energy into a more high vibrational state. So almost what I'm getting is, if you're confused about something, or like you don't know what to do about something, and you haven't really been getting the answers that you're needing, or you haven't been able to accept any answers that you've received thus far, what I'm feeling is to put the searching on hold and to just bring yourself back to the present. Accept the fact that you don't have all the answers right now. Accept the fact that you're feeling confused. And in the meantime, tend to the other parts of your life. Find ways to bring joy and happiness into your life, despite the fact that there's a big question mark over something else. And as you're shifting your energy, and as you're being mindful, and you're being present, and you're raising your vibration, like, the answers will come and the clarity will come. It always comes. It's just a matter of time. And like, your guides are really around you, literally like helping you through the confusion here. You may not see what's going on, you may not see the whole path that they do, and they're guiding you in the right direction. 32 here reduces to a 5, and 5 is a very pivotal number. It's kind of the tipping point between, you know, it's halfway to 10, and it's really a number that's all about change, and it's very dynamic. And I feel like there's going to be really great shifts happening with the number 18, this reduces to a 9, and 9 is all about the individual. This is a journey of the self. So especially this being a full moon in Scorpio, there's just such an energy of like deep transformational change that's going to be happening. And for the most part, I think this change is going to be on an internal level. But remember that whenever we shift things internally, that's how we get our outer reality to shift as well. So with whatever changes that occur within you around the time of this full moon and this eclipse, know that it's going to trigger a lot of changes in your external reality as well. It just takes the 3D a little bit more time to catch up sometimes because it does move a lot slower, but the change is inevitable and the shifts will occur. So I want to grab the tarot now. I'm using the New Moon Tarot. I love this deck. I'm going to give it another quick little shuffle. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for being here and for tuning in to today's reading. I hope these messages bring you some clarity and some guidance. Okay, so Spirit, what can the collective expect with this full moon in Scorpio, this total lunar eclipse? What's going to be going on in a collective sense for this full moon in Scorpio, total lunar eclipse, please? What can the collective expect with this? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. What else? What can the collective expect with this full moon in Scorpio, total lunar eclipse, please? Okay, so we have the moon, very fitting. What else? What can the collective expect? What can the collective expect with this full moon in Scorpio, total lunar eclipse? Oh, okay, so we also have the Three of Cups. What else, please? What can the collective expect with this full moon in Scorpio, total lunar eclipse, please? Okay, we also have the Queen of Wands. And I think I'm going to grab one more card. Let's grab one more card. What is going on? What is going on with this full moon in Scorpio, total lunar eclipse, please, for the collective? What does the collective need to know? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're taking two more cards. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling. Okay. Alright. So we have the Four of Swords and the Ace of Swords. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so some zodiac signs quickly in case it's relevant. With the Page and Queen of Wands, we have fire signs, which would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Pisces with the moon, and with the Ace of Swords, we have air signs, which would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So you could have these placements, but you certainly don't have to for these messages to apply. So one of the first things that I noticed was With the Page of Wands and the Moon, they're both sleeping. They're both sleeping. They both have their eyes closed. And then we have the Four of Swords as well. So really strongly, there's a message coming through about reflection, rest, meditation, contemplating, reconnecting is what I'm getting. With the Moon and the Three of Cups, there's a really big expansion happening in your sacral chakra and your heart chakra as well. Like there's a growth and expansion in your emotions. Now this could just be because of the fact that, you know, full moons in a general sense tend to be quite emotional events, and the fact that this is a lunar eclipse and it's a supermoon as well, this could just be highlighting the fact that, like, expect your emotions to be a lot stronger than usual. And so this doesn't just have to be like negative emotions. This could literally be, you may feel like you're having really high highs and having really low lows, like feeling super enthusiastic and excited and like ready to go get stuff done. Or you could also be feeling, you know, like really sad. You could be feeling like you're grieving, feeling like heartbroken. There's a big range of emotions basically. And I feel like with that whole range, it's like everything is just being heightened. So I feel like you're gonna be feeling your emotions a lot more deeply during this time. And some advice that's coming through already is, like I was saying, having a lot of rest, you know, sitting with these emotions, letting yourself feel them, writing about it, because that's going to help to find clarity, right? We have the Ace of Swords here. So it's like I was saying, like the clarity always comes. You just have to not be in resistance to it, right? Because sometimes when we're trying too hard, it creates resistance. There needs to be an amount of surrender, an amount of letting go to allow things to come in, right? It's the idea of grasping versus holding. Like when you're holding on too tightly to something, you can crush it. But when you give it space, when you allow it just to be and you hold it, you know, there's room for it. And that's something else that's coming through, is just holding space for this, whatever confusion, holding space for your emotions and allowing it to pass and allowing the answers to come back in. Like I was talking about empowerment and confidence here with the dragon and the solar plexus chakra, we also have the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is like super confident, okay? She knows her worth, she knows her power. She's really charismatic and attracts things to her like a magnet because, like I said, she knows her worth and she knows that she's worthy of receiving these things. And I love the growth that we have going from a page all the way to a queen. And it just kind of goes back to that notion of so much growth and expansion and like regeneration that's happening. And it's like the person that you are going into this is not going to be the same person you are coming out of it. Like there's going to be so much growth and ascension happening that you're, in some ways, like you're going to feel like a totally different person, or your perspective is just going to be so shifted that it just really changes a lot for you. So with the Ten of Pentacles on the back of the deck, this could have to do about a career, or something to do with like money, finances, creating abundance for yourself, or just about having security and stability in a general sense. So like if you've been struggling lately and have been having a hard time moving forward, like wondering how can I generate more financial wealth for myself, how can I create a life that I feel secure and stable in, that could be something that's coming up during this full moon. There could also be a lot of work going on with your root chakra during this full moon. I'm just like noticing the red in the cosmic flower, and this 10 of Pentacles is like really taking me to like security and stability, which are things that are dealt with in the root chakra. I like this feeling of safety. Yeah, exactly. And with all of these snakes here, snakes are a symbol of change, transformation, and healing as well. Like, it's like you're shedding your skin, who you used to be, and are stepping towards who you really are. Because who you really are is confident, is empowered, knows their worth, is really creative, has a lot going for them, and isn't afraid to pursue it. They're really successful, abundant, wealthy, healthy too. And these are all things that you already are. It's like you've already achieved all of these things. You just haven't gotten to that part of the story yet. And so maybe you're seeing the disconnect between where you are and where you want to be, and you're like, how do I bridge that gap? Like, how do I even get there? I don't know what I need to do. And it's like you're already on the path towards that. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to keep taking one step at a time, and like know that if you're following your intuition and you're surrendering and just like letting the universe take you where you need to go, that you're gonna get there eventually. Like, it's not a question of if, but when. And also, I can't believe I haven't brought this up yet, but this being a full moon in Scorpio, this is going to be like a really, really magical time. So I was actually reading for myself earlier, but I'm getting like the same message coming through of like, I kept hearing the veil is thinning. So you may notice that like your psychic gifts are really being heightened. You may find new ones coming through. I'm also getting that like synchronicities are going to be really, really huge as well, just like really magnified and in your face. And like you may have like paranormal experiences, supernatural experiences. This is excuse me, this is a really good time to manifest, work with magic, work with the moon. If you do those kinds of things, this is like really, really big energy. So I just wanted to put that out there for people who like to do those things. I know that that may not be the case for everyone, but yeah, it's like these parts of you that were sleeping, these parts of you that were dormant, like it's being activated now. You're being woken up. You know what? I actually want to grab more cards. I want to find out, Spirit, what is being activated? What is being woken up with the collective here? What parts of them are being activated? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles. What's being activated here? What's being woken up in the collective? Yeah. We have the Sun. What is being activated and woken up in the collective? What dormant things are being activated and woken up in the collective, please? Okay, we also have the Ten of Wands. And let's see, maybe one more card. Nope, those ones don't want to come out. These cards are like jumping. Okay, here we go. We have the Nine of Wands too. On the back, we have the Two of Wands. So The Knight of Pentacles, the Sun, the 10 and 9 of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. Literally, like, what's being activated is your essence. Like, you're literally coming into the light and just shining your light. Like, it's like, you know, when it's really foggy or misty and the sun is just rising in the morning, and at first everything is really hazy, but then as you get closer to noon and the sun becomes more potent and more strong, how it just like clears up all of that haze. That's literally what I'm seeing. It's like really stepping into your masculine energy and feeling really, really empowered, but not in a distorted way. I feel like in society there's a lot of like distorted, unbalanced masculine energy, but that's not what I'm seeing here. This is just about waking up to your potential and realizing that like you have everything it takes to move in the direction that you really want to go in. And it's like, oh, I'm hearing that song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Ain't No River. Oh, how's the song go? Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to like stop you from achieving your dreams. That it's like things that may have once knocked you off your feet a bit, things that may have like weighed you down or made you feel like burdened, made you feel like you can't go on anymore. It's like you're gonna have the power and the energy to just push through and to be like, actually, no, I can do this. Like, and it's like, it's not even just that, but it's like you're seeing the situation for what it is, and you're like, okay, this is an obstacle that I'm facing. I'm choosing to overcome this obstacle and to keep going. Like, just because there's an obstacle doesn't mean that that's the end of the road. And like, I choose to see this as an opportunity for me to put myself to the test, to really step up and to really just show myself what I'm made of. Like, I'm not gonna let anything hold me back anymore. Wow, this is so exciting. I'm really glad I pulled some more cards. But also I just want to say, for these first cards that we pulled, something else that's coming through is, so while we have this Page and Queen of Wands that is really about like taking action and things like that, I'm strongly feeling that the first step is to be in more of a feminine energy, being in more of an energy of stillness, of receiving, of being passive, because first we need time to sit with what's happening and allow everything to just be in the present without doing anything. Healing, purging, processing what's happening, and then allowing ourselves to shift our energy, allowing ourselves to create more joy in our life. And as we start to do that, clarity and answers will come, and with that clarity and answers, it gives you a doorway to start taking action. So I will put these up here and move this deck out of the way. Let's start taking a look at some advice. So we have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. If I put this here, can you see? Yeah, okay. So communication is key, new moon in Gemini, and we have wow, literally full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. How funny is that? You know, I find it doesn't happen every time, but a lot of the times that I do these like lunar cycle readings, that the card for whatever the cycle is comes up. So this is literally the full moon in Scorpio, and we have the full moon in Scorpio card coming out. Really interesting though, I'm also getting a time frame because the new moon in Gemini is happening on May 30th. So the period between this full moon in Scorpio, which is May 16th, and the new moon in Gemini, which is May 30th, is going to be really, really significant, okay? So with the advice so far, what I'm getting is that it's time to be honest about yourself in regards to what you need to release. This could have to do with another person, like having a conversation with someone, but I will say that if that's the case, not to be rash about having this conversation, just because emotions are going to be really, really intense during this time. So if you are needing to have a conversation with someone, take your time, okay? Journal, like write things out, especially because we have Mercury retrograde going on, and with all these heightened emotions, there's just a really strong chance of like miscommunication or an argument happening, and we don't want that. So just be really, really cautious. Take your time. There's no need to rush to have this conversation, but really think about what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you want to say. If it's not about a person, this is just about, like I said, being honest about what you need to release, like what's holding you back, what negative or toxic traits do you have that aren't serving you anymore. And I'm not calling you out. Everybody has, you know, negative or toxic traits that they have, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. We're only human, right? But there's strong advice to dive deep and like use this really. So this eclipse is really going to be a catalyst for a lot of change. So it's like, use this opportunity and just do as a Scorpio would do and just fucking dive right in, and just use this as an opportunity to purge and release and just let go of like any negativity, anything that's not serving you. You know, thank it for getting you to where you are, but say, I don't need you anymore, and it's time for me to move on into something else. Okay, we also have double mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. Exactly, literally exactly. From the beginning, we were talking about bridging the gap between like feeling really disconnected from your core self, and this card, serve the world by being you. Like, the world needs you. The world needs you as your most authentic self. The world needs you in your core energy. And like, simply by being you, it gives other people permission to be themselves, and it creates this whole ripple effect of like everyone just stepping into their own power and being like, you know what, this is who I am, and if you don't like me, that's all right. There's other people out there that will. So you may resonate with being a light worker or a starseed. You don't have to. Where am I gonna put these? Okay, I'll put this one here. Okay, we also have I'm sorry, defenselessness, writing past wrongs, uprooting. So yeah, exactly. This, like I said, if you're if this is a conversation that you're having with someone, conflict resolution is possible for you. But if this isn't about someone, this is literally just about forgiving yourself for staying stuck in your position, forgiving yourself for falling into a victim mentality instead of empowering yourself, forgiving yourself for holding on to all this negativity. So this could even be something that is deeply rooted, like from when you were a child, or this could even be like an ancestral thing that's been carried on in your lineage, where just like the same people having the same kind of problems and it not being solved in that person's lifetime, and it just like perpetually being passed on to the next generation. So this isn't easy stuff to work through, but this could be something that's coming up. It doesn't have to be the case. This could literally even just be as simple as forgiving yourself and working through anything that you've done or used to do that has held you back in any way from your highest potential. Okay, and we also have portal. Doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. See, I love this because it's like, although we can't control everything, there's a lot that we can control. And I love that it says you decide, because it's like the choice is yours, right? We had the Two of Wands on the back of the deck before. This is what's being activated, is the feeling of having a choice, the feeling of, you know, empowerment, of not feeling like a victim of your circumstances anymore. So it's like the doors are opening, the opportunities are going to present themselves, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you're gonna stay rooted where you are, or if you're gonna make that change and walk through that new door into something brand new for you. Okay, so I pulled some self-care cards because I feel like we're all really gonna need it for this full moon. So we have make a vision board, number 33. Exactly, I was talking about how you may be looking at where you are now and then thinking about where you want to be and not understanding how to get from point A to point B. And the advice that's coming through is to make a vision board about it. Like, let yourself be inspired, let yourself be excited. Don't look at it like a big daunting task, because it's just gonna like unmotivate you to want to take action, right? If you make it something that is excitable and maybe break things down into smaller steps, it makes it feel a lot easier to achieve and a lot more fun to achieve too. I also just saw 54 on the timer, so you know that reduces to 9, and we had a 9 here. 9s are all about releasing. It's about culmination, coming to the end of something. So as this ending's approaching, you're being encouraged to really visualize what new beginning that you want for yourself, right? Doors are opening, you decide. We have clear your energy field, number 10. Yeah, exactly. So this is all about releasing negativity, right? So you can use tools like sage, Palo Santo. You can use crystals, you can use a salt bath, incense, candles, like whatever you feel called to do. You're being asked to cleanse your energy, especially while you're like doing all of this purging and things like that. It'll be really important to just like continually cleanse your energy, just to make sure that like the stuff that's coming up is actually being released and not just like re-clinging back to you. And then we have energy work, number 22. Yeah, exactly. So energy work and clear your energy field work hand in hand for me. But with this card specifically, because of all the chakras here, you may want to listen to like chakra meditations or singing bowls that are attuned to, you know, the specific chakras. I recommend starting from the root and working your way up. You can even, like, if you lie down and like in a quiet place, just connect with your body and like ask your body what it needs, ask your energy what it needs, and you may feel called to work with a specific chakra. Or if this is something you're unfamiliar with, you can just like do a quick Google search and you'll be able to find really easily like what relates to each of the chakras, and then, you know, it can help you to identify maybe like an area that you may want to work on in particular. But so 22 is all about balance and harmony. So balancing out your energy, harmonizing your energy. This is also about like balancing and harmonizing, you know, your physical body, mental body, emotional body, and energetic body, and bringing things back into union. Lastly, we're going to take a look at these tea leaf oracle cards. These are going to be extra messages, things to know about this full moon in Scorpio lunar eclipse. I pulled a lot more cards than usual, and I'm going to talk about why. So let's start taking a look first though. We have Whale, great worry over nothing. We have Leg, stepping into a new experience. Yeah, this is making me think of this portal card. We have Coins, money will be coming to you. Yeah, we had that 10 of Pentacles on the back of the deck before. Actually, let's put this like this. Okay, we have Owl, good advice from a wise person. I see this as like you getting advice from yourself. Like you tapping into the wisdom of your soul and like tapping into your higher self and like connecting with your guides and getting wisdom from within. We have Broken Ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. Okay, we have Bell, announcement. Are these all gonna fit? Put them up here. We have Bull, do not back down from oppositions, show strength and fortitude. Yeah, exactly. And we're still in Taurus season. So I find this very fitting. Okay, so I had originally pulled these, how many are there? 7 cards. And then, you're not gonna believe this. So this was the card on top, and this was the card at the bottom of the deck. Are you ready to see what these are? Okay, I'm not making this up. So we have Success and we have Star, guaranteed success. So this was the top of the deck, this was the bottom of the deck, and I was like, oh my god, like I literally, there's no way I can't include this because that's just like mind-boggling to me. And then, not just that, but I randomly cut the deck and we have Candle, you will be shown the way. And again, I was like, there's no way I can't include this because I feel like it's really important. So obviously we have a lot of messages here. A couple of them we already talked about with the Broken Ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. It doesn't, I'm not even looking at this where it's like specifically about romance or business. I feel like this is just talking about breaking a cycle, the ending of something, because at the end of the day this is a full moon and it is an eclipse, so there are going to be endings, but there's going to be beginnings too. You're stepping into a new experience, and I feel like whatever you've been stressed about, whatever has been confusing you, like at some point you're going to look back and realize that you were worrying for nothing, because like literally success and guaranteed success here. So you could be receiving news or a download of some sort, or just like receiving some kind of information that helps show you the way, that helps to create this clarity for you. But you're stronger than you think. And it was like I was saying before when that song came through, where it's like, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough that's gonna stop me from chasing my dreams and achieving my goals. So that's everything that I'm seeing for you. Thank you so much for sticking through this video. It was definitely a bit longer than what I was aiming for, but listen, the messages were flowing and I wasn't gonna stop them. So let me know in the comments how this resonated for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on when I upload a video. I love you so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!